What? I'm alive. Just waiting to see if anybody shows up. Hey, everybody. I'm going to be making glaze, which is one part of Franken frosting that I use to ice my cookies so that I can do the alcohol ink. So I thought I'd start from the beginning, which is basically to make the glaze. And I use Cookie Crazy's recipe for glaze with a little bit of a change. I put a little more powdered sugar in mine than I do, or than she puts in hers, because I put a little more liquid in mine. I put a 1/4 cup of corn syrup, and there's about a pound and 1/2 ounce of powdered sugar, and then a 1/4 cup of water, and I've added into the water my flavors, which is 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla and 1/2 teaspoon of what's supposed to be clear vanilla, but for whatever reason mine's a little not clear, so the water looks kind of, I guess, not cloudy, kind of amber colored. So then I just add that in. I know that she makes hers in her KitchenAid mixer, but it's not really a difficult recipe. I don't think it really needs the power of a KitchenAid mixer, so I just do mine by hand. And I just go ahead and make sure it's all mixed together, because it's not as stiff as making royal icing. I think royal icing definitely requires a KitchenAid mixer or a hand mixer. For those of you, if anybody does mix theirs by hand, holy cow, you must look like Popeye, big old huge biceps. So I just keep mixing until I get all the lumps out of it. And what I do to make, I don't know if everybody is familiar with Franken frosting. It's basically half royal icing and half glaze. So I literally will just weigh out, I'll scrape this into a different bowl, because I forgot to weigh my bowl before I added everything. But normally I would weigh my bowl before adding everything, so I know how much my bowl weighs. And then whatever, yeah, and that's my granddaughter yelling at me through the window from the backyard. Say hi, Ruby. Hi. See, there she is. Gina, if you're watching, that was your daughter. So I'm close to having the lumps out here. Just got a few more, but I literally take a scale and weigh out how much of the glaze I have and add exactly that amount of royal icing, and then I mix them together. And my royal icing is, I make it in 7-pound batches, because, you know, we buy the powdered sugar in 7 pounds. So instead of having to measure out all the time, I just converted mine to include a 7-pound bag of sugar. I think I heard Angela from the Painted Box, she makes her glaze in 7-pound batches. So another smart woman. No reason to make myself some extra work by measuring out. Okay, this is pretty much nice and smooth now. You see it's very, very runny. I know there are some, like Cookie Crazy. I know she only uses glaze to ice her cookies. I can't, because it just runs off for me, and I would love to, but it doesn't work well. Franken frosting works really well for me. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to end this periscope, and then I will measure this out, and I'll measure out the royal icing, and I'll come back and I'll show you how I mix the two together. All right, guys, see you in a little bit.